Good evening. I'd like to call to order the September 28th, 2023 regular meeting of the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Bridget, can we get a roll call, please?
President Gibson?
Here.
Vice President Ruffing?
Here.
Commissioner Ansier?
Here.
Commissioner Jacks?
Here.
Commissioner Janner?
Here.
Commissioner Risval?
Here.
Commissioner Thompson?
Here. Thank you. Do we have any matters from the public?
We do on Mr. Doug Dusick.
Thank you. I'd like to remind everybody, matters from the public are limited to 3 minutes, and because some issues may need further research, we will consult with staff and reach out after. All right, thank you. Is it on?
No problem, thanks.
I don't think the mic's on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Great,
Great,
thank you.
Hi, my name's Doug Dusick, and I've been a resident of Naperville for 24 years. And I've also been a seasons pass holder at Centennial Beach for 24 years. In fact, the first time I toured Naperville and I saw Centennial Beach, I knew that's where I'd be spending my summers. And I have spent my summer there every year, every weekend. You'll find me there. And believe it or not, I'm not here to complain tonight. I'm here to praise. Centennial Beach is a wonderful place to be, and the staff does a fantastic job. I've been meaning to come and talk to you about this for years, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. But this year, they went above and beyond, and so that's what's prompting me here before you tonight. If you are an adult seasons pass holder at Centennial Beach, August is a sad time. Number one, because you know summer is over, but also because the guards start going back to school, and that means they start closing down the deep end of the pool. And on extremely hot weekends, sometimes we're all kind of cramped together like a dozen potatoes in a pot of water waiting to boil. But this year, knowing that the heat wave was coming up for Labor Day weekend, the staff was able to lure back the guards and open the entire pool for 3 days. And, you know, it was fantastic. So I had a great weekend. We had, from what I understand, you hit capacity crowd numbers on Labor Day itself. There were no issues, no problems. The park was its usual safe, clean, efficient run. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the team down there, to Brett Sprague and then his crew, Jim, Kelly, Charlotte, and James, and their assistants, Kayla, Eliana, Natalie, and Marissa. And Marissa is Jim's daughter, so you've got the family thing going on out there. I mean, it's really a fantastic place. I know there's a lot of growth that's happening in Naperville, especially on the south end of town. The Frontier Park is gorgeous. This facility is beautiful. But please don't forget about us in downtown Naperville. Centennial Beach is 90 years old, but it's unique and it's a jewel. And I just hope that you'll always keep us in mind when you're budgeting and when you're thinking of future projects. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dusick, and thank you to staff that prompted that great public comment. So thank you. All right. It's wonderful. All right, thank you. Next we have approval of minutes.
Move to approve September 14th, 2023 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Or, it's a roll call? Okay. Roll call, please.
Vice President Ruffing?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ansier?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Janner?
Yes.
Commissioner Risval?
Yes.
President Gibson?
Yes. All right, thank you. We don't have any unfinished business, no consent agenda tonight, so new business. We'll start with Centennial Beach vertical platform lift replacement.
Good evening. Contract for this project is anticipated to be presented to the Park Board for approval in October. The scope of work consists of the removal of the existing lift and installation of a new lift system. The Naperville Park District originally installed the lift as part of the larger improvement project at Centennial Beach in 2011. This lift eliminates any barrier to access the lower area of Centennial Beach that the stairs or winding walkways might present for individuals with limited mobility. The lift encountered an electrical failure and became inoperable during the last week of the 2023 Centennial Beach season. Considering that the breakdown comes as just one of the numerous electrical and mechanical issues experienced with the lift between the 2022 and 2023 seasons, it is past its useful life and in need of replacement before the Centennial Beach opens for the 2024 season. It is recommended by staff to expedite the project schedule and present a contract for replacing the lift to the Park Board for consideration and approval this fall. A total of $70,000 is earmarked for the Centennial Beach vertical platform lift replacement project. Funds are available within the 2023 capital budget to kick off the project work this year. Additionally, funds will be allocated within the 2024 capital budget in order to complete any remaining portions of the work early next year if needed. Pending contract approval, work is slated to commence this fall with the goal to reach substantial completion next spring before Centennial Beach opens for the 2024 season. Any questions on that one?
Questions? No? All right, thanks.
Excellent.
Next, Commissioners Park Irrigation Recharge Well Equipment Replacement.
Yeah, so as identified in the September 2022 or September 22nd weekly packet memo, a contract for this project is anticipated to be presented to the Park Board for approval in October or November. The scope of work consists of inspection of existing column pipe, re-installation of existing and new column pipe as needed, and installation of new pump, motor, and a lot of other electrical equipment in order to place the irrigation recharge well at Commissioners Park back into operation. This recharge well pumps groundwater into the adjacent retention pond at Commissioners Park in order to replenish it back to the normal water level as needed based on irrigation usage for the park. Operation on the well is critical for maintaining turf quality during the outdoor program season. In early September, Park District staff identified damage to electrical components associated with the irrigation recharge well at Commissioners Park. A water well contractor was called in to determine the extent of the damage and identify a scope for repair. At that time, staff informed Paderma of the situation and filed a claim. While the well column pipe was being pulled as part of the investigation, a section of pipe separated from the rest of the column, causing 3 lower sections of pipe and the pumping equipment to fall to the bottom of the well, which is approximately 1,400 feet down. So that's about a quarter of a mile down. I provided tonight just an exhibit to show exactly where in the pipe that this broke away. The pipe was investigated and evaluated by staff and the investigating contractor, identified this was just one area of pipe. So a lot of times we find in the soils within Naperville, subsurface, there's corrosive material. It could be anywhere in the soil profile. Sometimes pipe just breaks down. And so the entire pipe wasn't pitted or corroded. It was just this one small section, which was a concern that it dropped to the bottom, but it wasn't overly concerning that it wasn't the entire pipe. Recapturing the lost pipe and pumping equipment was discussed as an option. However, the estimated time needed for the operation is approximately 1 to 2 weeks. We asked the contractor for a cost estimate to identify what it would be, try to fish it out, going down to like 1,400 linear feet. The estimate was $20,000 to $30,000. So that included time, labor, materials, equipment needed to try to recover the pipe, but doesn't mean they could still be successful. So just the attempt itself could be that much. So there's no guarantee that the operation would be successful for various reasons, including the borehole not being completely straight, introducing the potential for the column pipe and the pumping equipment being difficult or being dislodged in the well, causing casing while being pulled out, or the column pipe and pumping equipment coming loose from the retrieval equipment, necessitating multiple attempts to retrieve the equipment. Therefore, it is recommended by staff that all lost components be replaced. The water well contractor confirmed by way of camera inspection, so to ensure what is really happening underground and what's in place underground, that there was no obstructions and water will flow up to the new well and pump system. And that's usually set about 760 feet. So it doesn't have to go all the way down 1,400 linear feet. It goes about halfway. So through televising, it was confirmed that there's enough water through a new pumping system that it will be successful. The next step is to prepare a bid package to be released for competitive bids this month. The cost for the project, or it would actually be into this month into October. The cost for the project work is estimated at approximately $40,000. The total cost will be identified and confirmed following the bidding phase. Funds are available within the 2023 capital budget to commence the needed well equipment replacement work this year. Pending contract approval, work is expected to be completed as soon as possible. So this is one of those things that we encounter in the park system. And the best thing when we have these situations is call out in this case, the experts, the well contractor to televise and tell us what the problem is and then report that to the board. So that's where we're at this evening.
Great.
How far will the new well be from where the old one is? I mean, will
It
it
would
be-
go down the same shaft in the casing. It just won't go all the way down to the 1,400 linear
Oh, got it,
feet.
okay.
And so the contractor identified by setting above, the concern is if you set it above, will the old pump and the pipe that fell to the very bottom, will that cause any issues with water flow? And they confirmed through televising the well shaft itself that that will not be a concern.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? No? All right. Thank you. Knock Park vehicle.
Yes.
Vehicular parking, I believe that's you.
Yes. So at the August 24th, 2023 Park Board meeting, staff presented the input received from residents and park patrons with respect to the parking lot adjacent to the central maintenance facility in the northern half of Knock Park being full due to extensive usage. This parking lot with a capacity of 46 parking stalls serves numerous recreational amenities and activities, including nearby ball fields, synthetic turf fields, and pickleball courts. Additionally, this parking lot is used by staff and visitors to central maintenance facility. Considering the high demand and usage of this parking lot, especially during the busy spring, summer, and fall program seasons at Knock Park, staff explored several options to expand parking in the area. This location and layout can provide up to 36 new parking stalls with the circular drive and use of the existing drop-off area on site. The total cost for the new parking lot is estimated at $450,000. Permeable pavers are recommended for this parking lot as a best management practice without the need to provide stormwater detention on site and impact existing recreational open space. The installation of traditional asphalt surfacing for this parking lot with the required stormwater detention is estimated to impact 1/3 of an acre of existing recreational open space with a similar total cost when compared to the recommended permeable pavers. Following the August 24th, 2023 Park Board meeting, Park District and School District 203 staff met to discuss a possible partnership and share funding to support implementation of the expansion parking lot at Knock Park. School District 203 was supportive of the proposed project and the idea of the model for cost sharing utilized earlier in the intergovernmental agreement executed between the two organizations in 2019 for shared use of the synthetic turf field and other site amenities at Knock Park. Per the 2019 intergovernmental agreement, the Park District and School District 203 shared in the cost to develop the improvements. The Park District paid 57% of the total project cost for the synthetic turf and support amenities, and the school district paid 43% of the total project cost for the synthetic turf field and support amenities. The percentage split among the two organizations was based upon the proposed schedule for shared use of the fields during peak programming times. The next step is to formulate an amendment to the 2019 intergovernmental agreement in collaboration with School District 203 for review and consideration, and include the Knock Park permeable paver parking lot installation project in the 2024 capital budget. So this, as you may recall, this was a question that came up, and we had the opportunity to meet with School District 203 staff. They were supportive of the idea, and we just want to report back that, we have some very good news to share.
Hey, Eric or Brad, the situation with student parking out there? I mean, definitely my concern would be, is it possible the students would come in at 7:30, 7:45 in the morning, whenever they get there, and fill up these parking spots before, for example, pickleball patrons can get there? I mean, do you guys know where the students park?
So the students right now have the option, they can purchase parking permits from the Park District to utilize the gravel lot that is along West Street, as well as the Centennial Beach lot, and be able to walk over to Naperville Central High School. I don't believe that we've had any issues, and Chief Schendelbeck, I'm looking to you, any issues with student parking at the central maintenance facility. And I would expect the same with this parking lot expansion. If we did begin to experience something like that, then we could certainly look at additional, whether it be signage or something to the effect that would basically have the students park where they should at the West Street gravel lot or at Centennial Beach.
And then will this be technically be on Park District property or on School District property?
This is a Park District property.
So we'd have the authority to put up, for example, if we want to make a 2-hour parking, 4-hour parking, no student parking, whatever, we'd have the authority to
Correct.
do whatever.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do we know are the same percentages we've used in the past, the ones we anticipate will be used for this, or is that
Yeah,
just
that's
part
what
of the
we're
negotiation?
proposing.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and that's what's the nice model from what we used in 2019, that this was really simple based on programming and usage. This would just apply to the parking lot as well. So
Well, thank you all very much for all the extra work on this. It's going to save us close to 200 grand. So that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
I'm really, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you to Commissioner Isbell for that and staff for working on the cost sharing. Also, I know I was skeptical before, but I've driven by that area a few times. And the backup getting into some of those lots off West Street when there's lots of practices in the evening. I think this is going to help alleviate some of that traffic backup along West. And also it's just going to be more accessible for patrons, especially with mobility issues, getting to the fields. I know you can park along by the high school there, but there's a ramp to get up. So I think it's going to be a good addition to that park. So thanks for your work on it. Great. All right. Is that
yes,
it, Director
thank you.
Schutz? All right. Thank you. Next up is 2024 dumpster recycling services.
Thank you and good evening. Staff will be recommending to exercise the renewal option for the recycling and dumpster services contract for 2024 with Groot Industries, Inc. at the October 12th meeting of the board. As the lowest responsible bidder, Groot was awarded the 2023 board-approved contract on October 13th of last year, which included the option to renew at the conclusion of each of the following 2 calendar years. Representatives from Groot did reach out to staff and indicated that an 8% fee increase would need to be implemented in order for them to agree to the 2024 renewal. These fees are required to offset rising wages and other operational costs on their end. After retabulating their bid to include the fee increase, it was determined that Groot would still remain the lowest bidder. The total anticipated value of the contract based on scheduled pickup intervals and historical number of will call service historical values is $61,607. Pending approval, the new contract would take effect on January 1st and expire at the end of next year.
I have one question, just more for curiosity. Do they handle, or how is it handled, like the, grasses, yard waste, clippings, that sort of stuff? Do they handle that, or do you have a separate thing?
We do also use them for yard waste services. We have a couple of dumpsters at our maintenance facilities and then also at the garden plots.
Director Quigley, when you said 8% fee increase from last time, but they would still be determined the lowest responsible bidder, that's comparing it to the bids from last year's contract?
Correct.
Okay, and we can presume that those bids wouldn't decrease if it was put out to bid again?
We haven't had that happen before.
Okay, yeah, okay. So it's just standard, okay.
Correct.
Any other questions? No? All right, thank you. Are you declaration of surplus property?
One of our favorites. Staff has identified several items as surplus and anticipates providing a declaration of surplus property ordinance for consideration at the October 12th meeting. At this time, a detailed list of the items from Fleet, Park Police, IT, and the Recreation Department is still being finalized and will be provided in an upcoming weekly packet. As is our normal practice, once the declaration is approved, each item would be sold, recycled, traded in, or disposed of.
All right, no questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Quigley. All right, next we have department updates. We'll start with administration.
Just a heads up, the Rotary Club Holiday Parade of Lights will be taking place the day after Thanksgiving, November 24th. Same location, stepping off from Centennial Beach at 7 p.m. If we march, commissioners will want to put in a unit. They would march with the Magical Starlight Theater Group that's putting on their production of Beauty and the Beast. And an invitation will either come out from me or Executive Director Wilson. We need to get our registration in by October 20th. So I want to gauge maybe some interest. I know it's always a challenging kind of weekend, but it's a really fun parade.
So the Park District will have an entry anyway with
The
Magical.
Yeah,
Star Theater.
they'll march, but, and we also do have a park police unit that drives too. So
Okay. All right.
you get to wear lights.
We did it last year, and my son had a blast handing out stuff. Like, he made it his mission. He's like, okay, give me more, and just would run out. So if you haven't done it, go for it.
Oh,
It's,
yeah,
it's
so-
a good time.
Fun. Great. Okay, thank you. All right, next up we have finance.
Good evening. It's budget time. That's it. That's all I got. Since it's our life.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right, next up we have golf.
Good evening. It's golf time.
Oh, yeah.
No, seriously, we have several projects right now. We're starting planning right now for the work at Springbrook Golf Course, the maintenance facility. Work is scheduled to begin next week on the roof and siding of that building. Weather permitting, they expect the roof to take about 7 to 10 days to complete. And then once that's completed, they'll start on the siding, which is expected to take about 8 to 10 days for that to be completed. All said and done, we are hoping to see that done by the end of October. Staff is looking forward to getting that completed. I know it's going to be a little bit crowded there for a little while, but regardless, it's going to be a nice improvement. Later this month, we expect work to begin on the 18th hole at Naperbrook. We're going to have minimal interruptions to the overall play on the golf course. At times, we're going to have partial closing of the hole on number 18, just the tee mainly. We're going to be constructing a new tee, some new bunkers on that hole, and that work is expected to be completed by the end of November. And that will all be sodded, so that'll be all ready to go first thing in 2024. And then also, end of October, once our irrigation system season is complete, work is going to begin on our preventive maintenance for our deep well at Naperbrook. The 900-foot well is going to be removed, inspected, serviced, and repaired as needed. We expect it to be reinstalled, tested, and completed by late December, so it'll be ready for the 2024 season. One other thing going on right now, with October coming on, it's Golftoberfest. So what is Golftoberfest? This is our month-long year-end celebration for all our golfers, but mainly it's geared towards our Brooks Advantage members. These are our most valued, our most frequent customers, and we want to show our appreciation for another great season. We're going to offer them some great discounts on green fees, food and beverage specials, and other promotions all year or all month long. You know, October is traditionally some of our best weather of the season, and we know everyone is looking forward to getting in a couple more of those rounds before the colder weather starts to kick in. Looking ahead towards this weekend, next week, it looks like we're off to a great start. The forecast shows some nice drier weather, warm temperatures. So we should see continued strong numbers for golf rounds to finish the season.
Great. Thank you, Director Carlson. Thank you. On to Human Resources. It's on here.
Good evening. At the October 12th meeting, the schedule for the 2024 regular board meetings will be presented for your approval. There are some deviations from the traditional second and Thursday of the month in 2024, including in January. January, we will again meet the first and the third Thursday of the month to accommodate attendance at the IAPD IPRA Soaring to New Heights Conference. We will have one meeting in March. The second meeting falls during the week of both 203 and 204's spring breaks, so we will be canceling that meeting. There's one meeting in November because of the Thanksgiving holiday, and then similarly, there will be one meeting in December. So that will be, they will all be here, and that will be coming to you next, well, in a couple weeks. mentioned the IEPD conference that is coming up on January, oh wait, I wrote it in a highlighter so I can't see it, 25th to the 27th. Registration has opened though, and early bird is available through December 11th. So if you think that you might be going, maybe take a look at the website. A preliminary listing essentially of the sessions has been posted. The actual schedule has not. It is still September, but we are planning for 2 mini job fairs here at Fort Hill in March. We're going to do them the week of the 203 and 204 spring break, and then also the week that most of the state universities here in Illinois have spring break to try and hit some last minute, even though March doesn't seem like last minute, it kind of feels like it to us, but last minute hiring for the summer season. District is also participating in 203's Career Motivate Fair that is over at the Naperville Yard. We participated last year. We had representation from our recreation department, golf, planning, and parks, and it was well received, and staff are actually pretty eager to do it again for next year, so that's great. We are also participating in a job fair at Plainfield Central on October 5th. I know that may sound a little bit weird, but we've actually had some really good luck getting in front of the Plainfield High School students and recruiting them into our positions. That's all I had for this evening. Any questions? All right,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you, Director Seppi. Next is information technology.
Good evening, everybody. Some updates of what's going on in the IT world over the last month and as well as moving forward over the next little bit. We're getting ready. We're doing work with our camera system partner, taking a look at numerous upgrades across the district, replacing or upgrading backend systems to ensure support at cloud-based viewing access for all of our sites, as well as providing better availability and secure user access. Printing, everyone loves printing. So yesterday we took delivery of our last group of copiers that we're replacing this year. This brings all of the multifunction copiers across the district into currently supported models with parts availability, lower maintenance agreements costs, and a reduction in our per print costs with those. In that same vein, our production printer is starting to face some of those same kind of maintenance issues, difficulties with parts availability, very frequent service calls, and higher per print costs that increase approximately 12% every single year. So last week, Carol Manderfield from the marketing department and myself had the opportunity to check out an available demo unit at the Konica Minolta Downers Grove showroom. This unit would be an upgrade for us, have parts availability for the next 7 to 8 years, and it would have been available to us at a cost of about 55% off of MSRP. And unfortunately, because it was a demo unit, it's first come, first serve, and it was sold the morning that we were going out there. Nevertheless, it was still a good visit. We got to see what the capabilities were. Carol had a chance to talk shop with some of the experts there as well. And we're maintaining communication with them for any other future opportunities like that that could give us that kind of savings on a future unit. Also in IT, we kind of wrapped up the last phase of our computer upgrades from earlier in the year that we had purchased, and we're moving forward with the next phase of upgrades. Staff have been very grateful for the upgrades between the speed and the quality of what we're putting out in front of staff now. We're also moving forward with some server upgrades and battery backup upgrades to address systems that have hit end of support either on the hardware or the operating systems. And then finally, October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So 2023 marks 20 years of Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Cybersecurity Awareness Month, which is celebrated every October, was created in 2004 as a collaborative effort between government and industry to ensure every American has the resources they need to stay safer and more secure online. Each week this month, IT will be sharing content on specific topics with staff and the board to help raise awareness about cybersecurity and provide tools and resources needed to stay safe online. So that's it from IT. Any questions?
Quick question on the surveillance cameras.
Yes, sir.
Do you ever collaborate with park police to, for example, map out where crimes have been committed within the district over the past, say, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, we have the data, and then try to make sure that if there's certain areas that tend to be more crime-ridden than others, so to speak, whether it's graffiti or vandalism, and then maybe try to match up the cameras with where those crimes are being committed? Has there ever been that level of cooperation?
Not as a formal engagement between our departments, but we do have cameras throughout most of our facilities. And when those kind of issues have come up, whether it's a repeat offense type of area, we have added cameras to some of those areas.
It might not be a bad idea to just maybe, I don't know if I guess the chief's up next, if you keep that data, but just if you plot it out where each crime was committed and kind of back up and try to make sure there's enough camera coverage there, it may not be a bad idea to cooperate in that way.
Yeah, and we definitely have different conversations about where there could be some ads, but we could look into that more specifically.
Thank you.
We also, as a district, we have a camera trailer that Park Police have used extensively at special events and to place out in some of the areas where we've had problems. It's a mobile camera unit, goes up on a tower, and that's something that I know Chief Schindelbeck and Park Police, as well as City Police, have utilized to address some of those problem areas.
Right, because it's always frustrating when some crime's committed and it's like, hey, let's check the video, and it's like, well, we don't have that area covered for whatever reason, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we probably. As long as they're talking about the cameras, we collaborate closer now with the city than we ever have, to the point where they have sign-ons to our camera trailer. And if there's troubled areas in the city, we'll work with them and make our camera available to them. We do it at special events. And then I've been fortunate enough to get officers on my department to work closely with IT, so that instead of us trying to call somebody in from IT to look at the cameras, we've actually been trained how to access the cameras throughout the district to get footage that we otherwise would have had to wait for IT to come in and get. So we're definitely trending in the right direction as far as
Thank
the
you.
camera use goes. Yep. And I'm sorry, as long as I'm up here.
Go for it. Sorry.
I will tell you that I'm glad to report that we had a relatively uneventful summer in terms of anything criminal. I was fortunate to have a very enthusiastic group of Park Service officers that put in a ton of time, both at the beach and on our park trails, and they will continue to patrol our park trails through the end of this month, when their assignment will culminate with working Halloween happenings. That'll pretty much wrap it up. At that time, we'll be pulling back on the PSOs, and I'll actually be scaling back the number of officers that are working each day as well. So with that, we'll turn our focus to the body cameras, which I appreciate your passing that during the last meeting. We're going to be getting our hands on that equipment over the next couple months, and I would anticipate us sporting those cameras by the end of the year, familiarizing ourselves with their use. And we will continue to focus on our training in the winter too. So as far as fulfilling the mandates.
Great. Questions? All right. Thanks, Chief. All right. Next up is marketing communications.
Good evening, Commissioners. I've got 3 brief updates for you this evening. First of all, earlier in the month, I had brought to the Parks and Rec Committee that at the end of August, we had surpassed our sponsorship and advertising goal, which we're very excited about. Our 2023 goal was $300,000, and we came in at $300,070, so just kind of got over that line. And there's obviously some more time to go, so we're looking to increase that as well. And it's so great to be able to see the sponsorship and advertising program continue to grow. So we'll look to more of that for 2024. We have one playground ribbon cutting coming up for, it's the last one of 2023, and that's going to be on Tuesday, October 3rd at Timber Creek at 5 p.m. So hope everyone can join us there. And then finally, I've put at everyone's place our anniversary logos, because we are going to be celebrating 2 exciting anniversaries in 2024. We have the 10th anniversary of the Knock Knolls Nature Center and also the 50th anniversary of Springbrook Golf Course. So looking forward to those. These logos are going to make their debut in the 2024 Winter Program Guide, and you'll see them kind of throughout the marketing materials all next year. So something to look forward to.
That's great. These are great logos. Good
Thank
work.
you.
Awesome.
Any questions?
Any other questions?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Director Luthman. Next up is Parks. Oh, yeah, sorry. Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you. After the agenda was set for this meeting, we learned that 2 vehicles that we had been actively searching for were recently listed for sale at a local dealership. The 2 Ford F-250 Super Cab pickup trucks, which were listed as a part of our 2023 fleet capital plan, are located at Curry Motors in Frankfort and available for immediate purchase. Fleet purchased a similar vehicle this past June from the same dealership at a base cost of $53,556. Base costs for the new trucks are $51,967 and $53,342. So both coming in under the purchase price from last June, with the difference in price between the 2 new units being that a few factory installed upgrades were come on one of the trucks that we could not have removed. One of the units scheduled to be replaced is suffering from severe rust and a twisted undercarriage, while the other is experiencing continued engine issues. We reached out to our sales rep with Curry, and he indicated that the dealership is willing to hold both pickups until Friday, October 13th, which would allow us to seek approval the night before at the October 12th meeting of the board. More information on this topic will be provided prior to the next board meeting. We are also working on replacing a Ford F-350 dump truck. This is the truck, as many of you will recall, that was the single Super Duty vehicle Ford allowed us to place an order for in late 2022. Typically, once an order goes into production, it will take a few months before it's completely finished and dropped off at our facility. At this point, we have not received any production updates from Ford and would not expect it to arrive before the end of the year. Dump trucks that meet our typical requirement specification needs are still in short supply nationally, and we are in the process of gathering additional price quotes from area dealerships. Replacing this older unit, which has been removed from our fleet as a daily driver, remains a high priority. The majority of dealerships we have worked with previously are not willing to hold high-demand vehicles for extended period of time. I wanted to use this opportunity to keep the board in the loop regarding this potential purchase and our intent potentially to seek approval of a dump truck at an upcoming meeting later in 2024 if we can locate one. And just a couple of other quick notes. Our annual parks and golf tree trimming and tree removal project for 2024. Advertisement for bid has been published with the bid opening scheduled for early next month. We anticipate that contract being awarded in November. And during my update 2 weeks ago, it was noted that the restrooms at the warming shelter and Fredenhagen Park were closed. The warming shelter is still out of service with a new contractor contacted to help rectify the issue. Due to the complexity of the issue and a potential need to make modifications, this location may be out of service for a few more weeks. As shared earlier, portalets have been placed on site as a temporary solution. Fredenhagen Park received the repairs it required to open back up. However, the men's room had to be closed again due to a vandalism incident requiring additional repairs. It's expected to reopen within the next few days once ordered parts arrive. And that's parks.
All right. Any questions? No. All right. Thank you, Director Quigley.
Thank you.
Next up is planning.
So I have one item for the board this evening. Temporary construction easements for stormwater infrastructure improvement projects with DuPage County. On July 13th, 2023, as you may recall, ordinance number 1037 was approved, authorizing an intergovernmental agreement between the Naperville Park District and the County of DuPage for the intergovernmental cooperation and utilization of available resources for partnership projects. Per the IGA, DuPage County and the Park District will work together to identify, restore, and manage lands and waters within the watersheds of DuPage County, and that each party will work to develop plans and tools to help to achieve those project goals. All project costs will be determined and agreed upon. Park District staff plan to meet this fall with representatives of DuPage County and their contractor in order to confirm scopes and cost estimates for proposed Brighton Ridge Park, Riverwalk, and Stanford Meadows stormwater improvement infrastructure sites and related projects. Additionally, Park District and DuPage County staff are in the process of preparing a grant of temporary construction easement agreement necessary for DuPage County's contractor to access and conduct stormwater infrastructure improvement work at the 3 Park District sites. The grant of temporary construction easement agreement is planned to be presented at an upcoming park board meeting for consideration and approval.
All right. Thank you, Director Schuth. And finally, we have recreation.
Good evening. So many of our outdoor summer facilities and activities are coming to a close. This weekend will be the final weekend for paddle boat and splash pad operations. As we head into the final weekend, paddle boat and kayaks use is very similar to last year, with over 10,000 boats, kayaks being rented this summer. Centennial Beach cleanup is in the final phase and should be completed by the end of this weekend. Overall, the beach had 136,000 visitors come through this season. This fall, we have brought on a couple of new senior activities that we hope will continue to gain traction. The first was a showing of a documentary film from the Global Brain Health Institute about dementia. The film shifted the narrative from hopelessness to hope and empowerment. It was inspiring and shed a spotlight on the human spirit. Although our attendance was lower for the first showing, we did receive very, very positive feedback from those in attendance, and we plan to do additional marketing and host another showing again later on this fall and winter. We also brought on a new program called Technology Training for Seniors. This program is done in collaboration with the volunteers from Negro Valley High School Interact Service Club. The program provides seniors the opportunity to receive individualized technology support from the students. Participants can bring in their device or anything that they want to bring in, or talk about Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and the students will assist them. It is a free program, but folks do have to register for this. One last highlight for our seniors was the recent rehab of our 2 pool tables at the RCC. They have been re-leveled, refelted, and re-cushioned, and now we have several happy senior players. So far this year, 7 Eagle Scouts have finished their final projects on the parks, out in the parks, and two are in progress. We plan to recognize the work of these young men and women at one of our upcoming board meetings this fall. So that will be coming. Last week, we hosted the wonderful World of Wheels with an estimated attendance of 1,500 to 2,000 folks coming through. It was a beautiful day, and we had about 14 different agencies that supported us. So it was a really good turnout this year, with approximately 20 vehicles coming in. Staff are in the process of preparing for our busy fall events. Group and family hayrides are set to begin in October, and we have almost reached capacity, filling every time slot. Halloween Happening is back and will be held on the last Sunday of October. And the registration for both Santa's Hotline and Santa's Naperville Workshop takes place this month. Registration details can be found online. Lots going on this fall.
Just a little. That's great.
Any questions?
Any questions? Nope. Thank you, Director Coates. All right. The next regular meeting of the Park Board of Commissioners will be October 12th, 2023 at 7 p.m. here at Fort Hill Activity Center.
Move to adjourn the September 28th, 2023 regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Have a good evening, everyone.